Good morning. I'm Dave Umstot. I'm the Vice Chancellor of Facility Management here in San Diego at the San Diego Community College District. I'll be joining you remotely today from the Middle East, Lebanon specifically. And I'm very passionate about what I'm going to share with you today, and that's why I'm doing it remotely. But to give you a little background about who I am and why I'm here, I have been in the engineering and construction industry for 25 years now and have been responsible for more than $1 billion worth of construction. And I've seen a lot of successful projects and I've seen a lot of challenging projects. And I'm very excited about the integrated project delivery model. We're embracing that at the San Diego Community College District, and hopefully we'll be able to share some lessons with you on how that's working for us and where we think this is going later this morning. So welcome and look forward to interacting with you.
So David, what's so good about IPD?
Well, I first learned about IPD about 2.5 years ago, Frank, and I was very excited about the entire concept. I spent the better part of 20 years of my career dealing with various delivery methods, but this one has some really unique aspects. And probably the primary focus is that it's really focused on the success of the project. It's project-centric, it's not interest-based. And I think that's probably the key to the attraction to me as an owner.
David, what's the difference between IPD and design build?
Well, integrated project delivery really means that you're taking all of the members of the team and delivering the project to a target value, to a target budget, as the case may be. Design build is similar, but not necessarily the same. I'm a big proponent of less is more in the design build. You know, here's a piece of paper, this is what I need, and let's go build it, as opposed to others that have the perspective that, well, I need bridging documents, which means that they're really not ready to embrace integrated project delivery. They truly still want more control and aren't really willing to trust the other elements of this team, because that's what IPD is all about, is trusting all the partners.
Okay, here's a tough question. How do you identify a contractor who is an expert in IPD versus the one who is simply an expert in talking about IPD?
Wow. Well, I think as an owner, what you want to do is go through some type of a qualifications-based selection process. As part of that selection process, you will find whether people are talking the talk or walking the walk. And the way that we've actually approached this is we ask the teams to come together in a marriage, if you will. We want a builder to come with a single architect on their team. We want them to bring their key trades, so that if they've got structural steel, structural concrete, the MEP, fire protection, we want them to bring those folks to the table during that selection process, so that we know that everybody knows how to work together and really what are we as an owner entering into a relationship about.
So how do you differentiate between the two? How do you know which one is the real one?
I think it's pretty apparent when you end up asking people questions about how have they done this before, what their philosophy is. I think you can pretty easily tell somebody who's committed and done it before, and those that are not as thoroughly committed or as experienced in delivering this type of a project.
In your opinion, Dave, is an owner missing out if they're not using IPD?
I think the owner is missing out a fabulous opportunity to have a great project if they don't consider this as a delivery method. Once again, coming back to the project as the center of focus of the entire IPD process, it allows you the opportunity to define what's important to you, what is your target budget, and have all the team work to that purpose, as opposed to, okay, well, I will do X and for Y dollars, and if X changes, then Y changes, and now we're in negotiations over those types of things, as opposed to negotiations on what's in the best interest of the project. There may be some things from an owner's perspective that you really want to have, and you're willing to sacrifice other things, but without that dialogue and interchange, it's really not possible.
Okay, how do you deal with the legal aspects of IPD, Dave?
Well, it's a little simpler for us as a public agency. Here in California, we simply can't enter into a true tripartite agreement with risk sharing and risk gain, if you will, through some type of a shared bonus pool. So from our perspective, we embrace the ideas and the concepts behind integrated project delivery. We feel that that's a wonderful model. Even if we can't enter into the exact contract language, it doesn't mean you can't move forward with that as a concept and embrace it.
As you know, Dave, we have a lot of architects and engineers with us today. How do you see the benefit of IPD for A&E firms?
Well, I think there's some reluctance out there in the architectural and engineering community to embrace this because I don't think they understand what it might mean for them. So from my perspective, what this means is as the architect and the engineer, you're not losing control. I think you're getting an opportunity to work with those that are going to build it on the back end. Can we build this? Is there a smarter way to build this? Have we thought about this rather than what has been done on the piece of paper? We use building information modeling on all of our new projects. I mean, clash detection is a huge plus on that. A lot of architects and engineers are still not embracing BIM, and frankly, it's the 21st century, and they're going to come kicking and screaming, but they better get on board. So that said, coming back to the question, what's really in it for the AE firms? I think that by doing this, they're going to have a better relationship with the owners. They're going to have a better relationship with those that are actually building the building. And I think ultimately it's going to cost them less money because there'll be less on the construction administration end on the back because we eliminate deferred submittals and submittal review. We eliminate shop drawing review. All that gets integrated into the design process as part of the delivery. So I think overall, the bottom line is it saves them dollars and cents.
You mentioned BIM. What's the correlation between BIM and IPD?
Well, I don't think there's a specific correlation. I mean, BIM is a tool. IPD is a method to deliver a project or a contract model. And so BIM can certainly be part of IPD. I think most of the projects I'm aware of that are being done in true IPD or in IPD-like manners all require that because that helps focus on a lot of the issues, which is really delivering value, what's best for the project, and trying to eliminate waste, which in the case of clash detection, sequencing of work is a big deal.
So having said that, how do you deal with the additional paperwork and preparation time associated with IPD? And how should the A&E firm deal with that?
I would argue that you have less paperwork and that, as we just discussed about the architects and engineers, by integrating a lot of the shop drawings, deferred submittals, all of that into the design on the front end, you end up eliminating all that paperwork on the back end. Two, once you move away from being interest-based so that I am doing things that serve my interests as opposed to what are the interests of the project, by that very nature you're going to generate more paper than if you are really focused on what does the project need and how are we going to move forward in the project's best interest.
So Dave, here's the big question. How do you integrate green into IPD?
Well, I think for us as a district, we have a green building policy that our board has adopted. We just do that as a matter of course. But for those that may not have that kind of a leadership or vision from their governing boards, whether they be private or public, the opportunity is here by what do you value? Do you value a green building? Are there certain sustainable elements that you really want to incorporate into a project? This gives you, or IPD gives you, the option on the front end of defining those very clearly and allowing the team to pursue them, whether it be high energy efficiency, whether it be photovoltaics, whether it be using some type of geothermal heat exchange in order to heat and cool your building. There are water conservation, whether you're going to use waterless urinals, low flow fixtures, xeriscape landscape. These are all things that can be very well defined up front as goals under IPD. Can you do this in other delivery methods? Sure, but in this case, I think it really, if you are successful in meeting your target budget, you can add value to the project with these types of things that you might otherwise not be able to afford.
So do you think there is enough dollar savings in IPD that could pay for the energy saving features for new buildings?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're going to see that change orders in an IPT job are essentially zero. You have a target budget, and that's, you're going to meet or beat that most of the time. So the whole change management issue, which is not just the value of the change order itself, it is all the time that everyone has spent dealing with the change management piece of this, whether it be a trade contractor or the builder, the architect, any engineer, the owner. All that time adds no value to the project. It's all waste. And so that's time and money that's not going into your building or into your project for the end user to really enjoy and use.
Dave, I want to thank you for your time. I really appreciate you speaking with us.
We're pretty passionate about this,
Yes.
so thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah.